Hello and welcome to part 7. It's clearly dark and just as obviously Wednesday. This week something slightly different to the previous 6 weeks. For this entire video you'll see no messing around with parts down below, not until the end, because I'm going to concentrate, at least for this video, in there. Because, my little gerbil fondlers, there is too little light around the back. And I found last week that it's a bit creepy down there in the dark with a dimly lit place with beams so low, and I'm around there like this, and I'm scared of ghosts. Don't boast of your supernatural fears, especially when you have none and no beers, but instead work upon the top lockup and how you shall present it, and make sure that during this occasion you don't look like a tit. This top lockup is taken up by a car, but not just the car, by bits that surround it. The car's just central. And although it will come in and out from time to time, this car lives in here. It has to. This car with no roof, it doesn't belong outside with all the other scroty cars. No, this one's special. And it has been my intention for quite a while to make this lockup somewhere special to be, somewhere inviting. And that's why I hung up those cups. That's why the dog and bone display's there. But I'm going to take it a couple of steps further. Week 1 of this project, I organised this shelf. I organised that shelf. I organised that shelf. I organised that. And most of this over here. Now see how quickly you can clear an area like this when you don't concern yourself too much with where you put the junk. The dog, whose name is William, is looking after the picnic basket. That seems suitable. And now I can use this seat as where I sit. I just need a bench in front of me. But ideally as well, I could do with it being just a little bit higher up. So I need to make some sort of base for the seat. Now, if I don't concern myself too much with things like safety, then I can simply mount the MG seat on this rather knackered swivel chair. Although it's just not really working. Not fitting the gap properly. Oh, it's ripping my chair. This wall would be a good backdrop for my live streams, etc. But it's just not in the right place. To give me a bit more space as I walk backwards rather dangerously across the other side of the room, I've moved the car out of the way a little bit. So for the next hour, I'm going to concentrate on moving a bench from there to there and something from there to there to make it make sense, until I can find myself another 2 17-inch 11-spoke wheels for Nigel. These can be my base. For many people, the actual planning side of this and drawing pictures, etc. would be the exciting part. For me, it's more head scratching, trying things out with a rough idea whether it's going to work or not. And even when I know it's not going to work, I try it anyway. Just imagine a bench in front of me now, and I'm thinking too much clutter behind. Although I'd quite like some of that stuff to be behind me, there's just too much there. From this angle, yet again, for some reason, the clutter is starting to bother me, even though it's all been put there deliberately. This metal wall doesn't help, though that should be a relatively... what if it was just that? Maybe that's a bit better. I can't make my mind up, you see. I've got to say, though, this chair is really comfortable to sit on. I'm in danger of falling off, though. Something's still not quite right. Yeah, it just looks shit, that's what it is. It doesn't look like it's set up for some sort of interview or live stream, does it? No. Sorry, something's going to have to really change here. Looking at this, I think the first one's the best one, but the wall isn't a pleasant sight at all. So, first of all, I shall clean it, and then, what about the possibility? Yeah, how about covering it up? Just cover it up with something. This is now quite a bit more like it, I think. Although I'm a bit disappointed that I can't see the giraffe. Is the giraffe even important? Well, no, but none of it is. None of it's important. It's just something to look at. Microphone off. This isn't a bench. It's well, it's a shelf, isn't it? But it will do as a bench. Here we go. At last we have somewhere to sit and do. I'm feeling quite at home. Yes. Hello, hello, hello from a lovely cold Sunday afternoon. It is a lovely, it is cold, and when it's cold, one's face refuses to work as well as it should do. Yesterday, for the 50th time, I cleared my bench, and now I'm going to clutter it back up with something I have found. When I say I've found, I haven't found it. They're just on the other bench over there. These Krypton triangle service bulletins. I don't know where they came from, but they're really old service thingies, and they look like at one point they may have been well used and quite expensive. Look at this, from 1969, covering Austin, BMC, BMW, Bond, Chevrolet, DAF, Ford USA, Hillman, Imperial, Jaguar, Lincoln, Mercury, all the way up to, wow, Plymouth, Oldsmobile. It's all sorts of stuff. I've got no idea really what to do with it. Oh, there's something I am familiar with. Of course, the Triumph 2.5 litre PI engine, telling you about the displacement, the compression ratio, the valve clearances, firing order, idle speed, etc., and timing marks. This one here has the Ferrari Dino, and the 365 GT2, and the Daytona, and the Lancia Fulvia. Ferrari 365 GT B4. Where the hell have I got this stuff from? Honestly, I don't remember. So many occasions I've taken on a job load of parts, etc., and then thought, oh, I'll sort through some of that later on, and got distracted, and then the inevitable forgetting what you've got in the first place or where it even came from situation arrives. I'm a bit stuck as what to do with them. I mean, they could just be placed somewhere so they're on site as a visual thing like the rest of the crap over there, but all this engine technical data, I mean, I'm never ever going to need to know about the valve clearances and the displacement and the compression ratio of the Vauxhall Ventura. I'm not even sure what it even is, but it's obviously quite a big one because it's a 3.3 litre. Ah, yeah, I think I do know what it is actually. But I'm probably just going to have a look online to see if I can find any of these anywhere. And so, with a quick look online, I say quick, I mean about 3 minutes worth of searching, wasn't hard to find them. It seems that these books here are worth anywhere between not very much and a lot more than not very much. Facing the wall again. There's no information in there that's of any use to me whatsoever yet. You never know though. So, display purposes only. Much more up to date, I have a stack of Haynes manuals. Look, the Rover 45 MGZS, the Rover 618, 620, 623, and on the back of this one, the rather delightful picture that I've mentioned before, showing the lady who's used the Haynes manual as a reference to find out which way to turn the wheel nuts. Rover 211, 214, 216, 218 and 220. Oh, and the same lady with the same car. 414, 416, 420. Oh, the same lady with the same car. You'd think she'd learn. Oh, and the Rover 216 and 416 not covering the 420 or the 418. Same lady. And the 214 and the 414. What difference? Ah, I know what the difference is. The engine. That's really it. Surprisingly enough though, a training workbook for the Austin Metro. That's interesting. That's a genuine thing. I don't tend to use Haynes manuals because I find them somewhat frustrating, but I don't want to get rid of them, so I may as well just store them in this corner over here. Yes. Oh, look at all my books, aren't I clever? Did you know I could read? Take yourself a look on Facebook, Marketplace or eBay and you can find Haynes manuals galore. Though not really worth anything. £5 each, that's about it. Although they cost a lot more, they're floating around. See, books don't really go wrong as much as cars do, so people hang on to these books just in case they ever get another one. And when they never do, then they're desperate to get rid of them because it's just a reminder of a time gone by when they had a car that they actually liked. Nobody has ever asked me for a Haynes manual. Oh look, I've got a Mini R50 there as well. Yes, I know what they ask for in paper form. Things like this MGZR service book and, you know, owner's manual with all the other bits of paper and a lovely plastic wallet. So we have the ZR, we have the Rover 25, we have another Rover 25, although earlier, not facelift that is, and then we have this one. What's this one? I don't know, I can't tell. It's, what's in here? No, I can't be asked. And then we have the Rover Streetwise, and then Rover 75 facelift, 1, 2, oh, and then a pre-facelift one with all the pages stuck together. Oh, don't breathe that in, it's all dusty. I bet I've got another one stuck up there somewhere as well. Before Rover did all of its skinflint things, they provided you with leather wallets. Is it real leather? I don't think so. Or is it? No, it's not real leather, but they look a lot more presentable than those horrible plastic ones. Slap it down on the bench. Slap it down on the bench. Multitasking, not good for anyone. Time to put the heater on, I think. Oh, that I could just do. But that looks stupid. So, if you want a Haynes manual or one of these technical service bulletins or a driver's handbook, I'm your man. I can also help you increase your word power or help you negotiate the streets of London. Nobody ever wants to do that anymore. It's great going through stuff, isn't it? Look what I've found. This little bottle of perfumey type stuff I found in a car that I call Gladys. Smells a bit like an old people's home. Places like this should always smell of oil and petrol and, you know, just general car fluids. But this place never does because the door's so big and there's so much airflow in here. It's a great place to store a car. You know, it doesn't going to go rotten here, but can I infuse my workbench with the smell of old ladies? Interesting idea. Here's another thing that isn't really for sale. Why would it be? Bungee ropes. Have you ever bought bungee cords? I have. They're in this bag. It's typical of the kind of thing you see in the shop and you think, oh, they'll come in handy at some point, and then a year later they're still in there. They should be safely tucked away in the boot of the Volvo for doing those kind of things that require things to be strapped down, but not particularly heavy things. Instead, I may actually just suspend them from the beams of the roof so I can dangle stuff. I'm used to stuff getting in the way of my head and clunking my bonds everywhere I go, so why not? I've got to use cable ties, so I can't dangle anything too heavy off of there. Things aren't going quite so well this week, and today, with it being really cold, heater on, not really getting the whole of the lockup warmed up isn't the answer, because motivation is the problem. Motivation is one of those things that can come and go. From what I've found out recently, you can get motivation and you can start doing something, but you've only got about 72 hours worth of this motivation happening, and then you reset back to your normal self, where you don't really believe in it any longer. And your brain has a habit of playing tricks on you. It's interested in you surviving, not succeeding, which means that you only have a certain amount of time to achieve something before it goes, oh, hang on a minute, let's slow this thing down. You may end up in dangerous territories doing something that you haven't done before, because you can't break out of a situation without doing things that you haven't done before. And that confuses the old grey matter, which means that you've got to somehow override it. You can't just have a situation, come up with a solution and keep going, because it'll just drag you straight back down. Over the past 7 weeks, I've listed thousands of pounds worth of parts. I've posted loads and loads of things. Every single time I've managed to underprice the postage, and every single time I've worried about things turning up. Now then, to find some motivation, I've come back down to the lower lockup, where I have another hour left to really make some difference. But I find myself sat back down again, having a pondering. Pondering can lead to motivation, but often it doesn't. Where I filled the trailer up before, I've started to unempty the trailer whilst I get to other things. And this has led to, well, a whole lot of mess again. The whole putting things to one side. Yeah, I need a side somewhere that is completely separate to everything I'm doing here, because otherwise the whole place becomes that one side to put things to. What about stereos? Well, I have a few of those. Some of them, I don't know if they work or not, but I'm going to put them all in the same box anyway. There's a box, and now here's the same box filled with stereos. Original Rover stereos. See? Original Mercedes stereo. Original Volkswagen stereo. The box is full, but I've still got some more to go. Not only that, if I sneak into the secret compartment around the back, we'll see there's more. Look, Vauxhall stereos. Yeah, I think I should put those up for sale now. On a warm day, I shall come down to the secret compartment and sort this lot out as well, because it's full of door cards and parcel shelves and carpet and dashboards, etc. As soon as I switch that heater off, suddenly the cold air's blowing through all of the gaps again, and I'm jeffing, freezing. And now, once I've already decided that I'm giving up for the day, giving up for the week, I remembered something. I could have put this huge thing on. It really did keep me warm the other week.
Following the latest.
Don't be so hard on yourself. I tell myself, oh bollocks, I don't believe it, I forgot my charger. So I could be feeling a bit pissed off actually by the lack of progress this week, and then me blaming it on the cold, and then the fact that, and I'm just blaming it, and if I really did have the gumption that I needed, I'd just work my way through it. And instead I'm using excuses so I can just go home rather than really nailing something. Well, that's the way it is. And in order to get over this particular rough patch this week, I've got to admit it and say, yes, I could have done a lot better, but I haven't. Next week I will. But also, whilst messing around in other parts of the yard today, thinking about all of the other shit on the outside everywhere. And when I say shit, I mean items that I could sell if I tried hard enough. I do need it to be warmer. I do need it to be not wet. I do need to be able to speak properly, because at the moment I can't do, because my face is half frozen. So the 8-week challenge to sort all this thing out is definitely a big fail, because with 1 week left, it's just not going to happen. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for watching and having some patience and not beating me up over having a crap week with it. I'm not beaten, I'm just a bit bruised. Bye bye.